Okay, so I was telling the guys the story. I think this was Friday, in our little production chat about I stopped by this store. It's a figure store. They kind of specialize in Funkos and stuff. And I stop by there every once in a while. And the guy was showing me some of his, not really his personal collection, but some of the high end stuff they have. And I'll show those in a minute. But yeah, so then Marco jumps in. He goes, "Yeah, put something together on Funkos for the show." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, that was a good story. What you were just saying. Just go ahead and throw something together." I'm like, "Okay." So I start, burning the midnight oil. I start throwing stuff together. So this is it. As we get to the latter parts of it, maybe I can't remember. Maybe I dreamed it. Maybe I don't know. But we'll see. It ran. I think I went to bed at like 4 a.m.
Oh my!
But beyond that, I also watched.
We can provide the materials to anybody who wants them. Just we'll email them out if you want the slides.
Yeah,
materials are available later.
Don't use it as reference, but yeah, sure.
Is that
so? Yeah, so Funko, the company. Real quick about the company, it was created by Mike Becker, who wanted the company to be fun. A lot of this I learned from watching, and I mentioned it's one of the bottom bullets there. The docu-movies called "Making Fun: The Story of Funko." You can watch it on YouTube. Search for it and watch it. It's about an hour and a half, but it's pretty cool. It goes into the company. You know, it was kind of a labor of love with this guy to make this company. Him and his friends were really into pop culture and nostalgic type things. They would go traveling to, these different shows, garage sales, blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of how the idea started. And when he got the name from, he wanted the company to be fun. So fun company. Funko with a C doesn't work. Funko with a K, perfect. Let's run with it. So it was founded in 1988.
I always thought I was a big fan of funk music.
Yeah, let's get some George Clinton up in here.
This thing, I would have probably said the same thing. Yeah, these things are funky, but nope. Starts Fun Company. So it was founded in 1998 in Snohomish City in Snohomish, Washington. It's now headquartered in Everett. After they're pretty much global, obviously, but they built their headquarters back in Everett, Washington. The first bobblehead, because it wasn't always pops, they actually started with bobbleheads, and they've done other things other than, and they still do other things other than pops. Obviously, they have different things, but the first bobblehead they mass produced was Bob's Big Boy bobblehead in 1998.
Is that down there? Is that Frisch's Big Boy, like the restaurant?
The hamburger joint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big boy, sir.
They called the guy. They called one of the managers of one of the stores and said, "Do you want these?" And the guy's like, "No." And he goes, "Well, here, just take them free. It's my gift to you. A box of like 30 or whatever." And he got a call the next day saying, "Hey, give us more. We've already sold out." So it was there. The desire was there. I've had people tell me Funkos are trash. I've had people tell me they love them. It really runs the whole spectrum of collecting. I think Funkos really, if you're into nostalgia, and the target or the goal, I think, of Funko is nostalgia, to remember things from when you were a kid, growing up, certain special events in your life, things like that. So next slide, because I promised, since this is a Star Wars show, we'll show the big boy Boba. So these are the guy at the store actually had, I'm not going to say the name of the store, someone might rob him, but the guy at the store I went to actually had these in his store. I think Dom Tober has showed off a couple. He may own these. He probably, I think, at least owns 2 or 3 of these.
Yep.
And I think he showed them off when he was on here once.
Protect the store, but no worries about selling Dom out.
No, I don't know. Dom lives in a secure mansion with he's the guy.
He's in a bunker.
Yeah.
Lots of guard dogs.
So so the first, I'll go through them real quick. I don't know if I put these in the right order, but anyway, we'll go from the first one. So Freddie Funko is kind of the mascot of Funko Pops or whatever. They went in the documentary, if you're interested. He's kind of a melt of a couple of people in the company and some old TV cartoon. I don't know. Watch the documentary. If
you get the alliteration.
So a lot of times at the cons, they'll give out Freddie Funko Pops, limited editions, and they'll be, kind of cosplaying in, Boba Fett, maybe, you know, some other character from Twilight or Harry Potter, whatever.
I got you.
This first one listed is exactly like the second one listed, except for the hair color, the green hair. And if you, when I say PPG, that I got those from the Funko Price Guide. It's an app I have on my, you can get on your phone. It's not the best app as far as prices, but it's better than some of these others I did go through and look up on eBay too. But so the first one, when you look this up on the Funko app, it doesn't really differentiate between these two, the red hair and the green hair. But when you get on the secondary market, there is a huge difference. The green hair, I think, like limited, or it was a couple thousand made. I forget exactly, and it's too small to read. But the red hair, there was only 24 made of this, geez. And it was a San Diego, I believe San Diego Comic-Con. And from what I've heard, just from people that are in the con, you know, that know Funkos and stuff, these didn't even sell out when they first. When these things first came out, they couldn't even get rid of all 24 of those things. Now, whether or not that's true or not, I don't know, but that's what a couple of people told me. Now, the red hair is on the secondary market, $8,000. The green hair is normally around $2,000, give or you know, one way or the other. And then there, I know for a fact, Domtober showed off the other two from Droids, the Boba Fett from Droids.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, back.
I hit the mouse.
The exact same, except for the sticker. The San Diego, or I think the Comic-Con, I think it was San Diego. Yeah, San Diego Comic-Con. They both RPG at about the same. Actually, no. The price guide only shows the San Diego one. eBay sales say anywhere from $1,000 and a little bit up on that one, whereas the one from Europe, I think it is.
Yeah, I think it says Europe on the sticker.
I only found one that actually sold on eBay. There may be other avenues of sales, but eBay is where I went. One sold for $14.50.
Craziness.
So very pricey. I told the guy at the shop I went to, I love looking at them. Not going to buy it. No, sorry.
And counterfeits. You say beware of counterfeits.
You will. Thank you for pointing that out. I put that on every slide because there are counterfeit or customs. JJ last week showed us a custom one, not of this, of another one that was made, another custom Boba Fett. Customs are fine. I just say beware of people.
Using I guess they can get the green hair and just paint him some red hair, and there you go. He's got $8,000 on you.
I'm not smart enough to be able to tell you how to spot the difference. I'm really not. If you're in the market, hopefully you do your homework and figure it out. Again, I don't. But yeah, I put that on every slide because there are counterfeits out there. There are customs out there where people can only afford, not necessarily these two, but any of them. Maybe people can only afford one of the lower ones, but they pay somebody $30 or $40 to custom it to make it look like another one. That's fine because they know what they're doing. It is as advertised as a custom. The problem gets to be where people make these changes and they pass them off as real to unsuspecting customers who pay out a lot of money only to find out later they're counterfeit. So just be wary if you're going to spend that kind of money. Talk to somebody who knows Funkos.
They're not the hardest boxes to open up, like without damaging them. Nope. They're very easy to open.
I'm going to mention that a little later too, but you're absolutely right. They're not sealed.
I'm jumping ahead.
Sealed. Some of them are sealed. Most of them are not. They're easy to open up and exchange out. Okay, so I decided to cover what would be like an early series of Star Wars.
One of these is not like the rest, but go ahead.
So, so there's this again. These prices are per the PPG app. The Darth Vader, as you can see, it runs a lot less than the Han Solo. The Chewbacca is a lot less than the Greedo, as you can see. That's not a
Greedo's what stood out to me. I'm like, wait a second, these are all $20, and then Greedo all of a sudden.
Their release dates were kind of spattered from 2011 to 2015. I'll show you a little bit later why you can tell the difference. And the ones that were released earlier, you can tell which ones were released earlier, and those do demand a premium.
But they maintain the same, I guess, numbers because pops are numbered. Like they have that
same numbers on
issue
these.
Number or whatever.
Yeah, the same number on these. And then by now, if you're into pops and you've done any shopping for pops, either on Whatnot or whatever, I can't tell you how the numbers work now. They're up to like 550 something or whatever.
Well, they do like variants on things where they'll like, all right, Vader. Well, now it's battle scarred. There's like some scuffs on his armor, so that's technically different.
They'll graffiti them up, or they'll do whatever. Yeah,
it's Rainbow Vader. That's another one. Let's put a number on him.
So this is Series 1, which runs from 1 through what was that, 7, right? So
yeah.
Okay, so next slide we have Series 2. Again, runs from like 2011 to 2014. You see the price differences per the PPG. I'm going to keep stressing that because I'll talk a little bit about different.
Yeah, I got to imagine some of these sell for more than this.
They do, and you'll see why when we get to the slide. I'll talk about that. So, yeah, so you'll see like some of the real characters that you would think, wow, that's going to be expensive. Your Darth Maul, your Boba Fett's are
first
not.
Issue and all.
Yeah, Luke in his dark shirt is worth 170. Gamorrean guards who are a dime or a dozen worth 145 as far as the characters. My buddy C3PO travesty $22. Are you nuts? All right, so next slide. I think I left off a 0 on that one. No, I didn't.
No, I don't
and
think
then
so.
And then we get to what you would think would be Series 3, but no, they no longer label them with series. There's nothing on the back except for a list of other Funkos that came out about the same time, but it does not say Series 3 on it. So after this, they just start numbering without a series.
I got the numbers. I guess that's fine. The running count.
So again, you see the Leia, Slave Leia is the biggest one in this, and then you have Clone Trooper, and then the others. Sandman's about Sand.
Tusken Raider.
Tusken Raider is worth 75, and so is Jawa, etc., etc. Okay, so now we're going to start talking about why. Let's go to the next one. No, actually, maybe we're not. Go to the next one. So these are some others. This is where Pops can be just as confusing as comics, maybe even more so, I think, because we're going to get into. I'll talk a little bit about vaulting. Vaulting is whenever they put a Funko away, they're not going to produce them anymore. Usually, once it's vaulted, they don't unvault them. I don't think, except for like real rare occasions. If they do bring back, which is what they've done on these. If they do bring back the same Funko, they'll put them in like a black box instead of a blue box. It's like
that's like trade paperback wise. You get the OOP, the out of prints. Like that's it. They're not making them right now.
Yeah, so they do the reprints or the. And then of course you got the stickers. Oh God, the stickers mean everything in collecting Funkos. I think Dom Tober's mentioned that in previous shows. I'm not even really going to get into the stickers. What I will get into on these is the font. Large font versus small font, and my very last slide, which is the one I added, Pete. It really kind of blows it up and shows you.
Okay, the last slide.
The large fonts are usually the older ones that were released like when they first, like 2011.
Like this.
Then when they re-release, I
can zoom in a little bit.
Yep, large font where it says Vinyl Bobblehead. I think
where I can see a little difference next to the Han over here. It looks, even though it's a little blurry, it's zoomed in, but you can see it's a little bit.
The last slide, it'll show it a little better. But,
okay.
So, so the fonts make a big difference, as well as that on the barcode on the bottom. If it says JJL, a lot of times that'll mean that it's an early release, like a 2011 release, not when they re-released it again in 2013 or through the 2014. The fonts on these Star Wars blue boxes mean everything when it comes to these older releases. So real quick, what happened to 14 and 16? I know we didn't count, but series 2 ended with 13, and then it jumped to 17. What happened was these other ones.
Yeah, there's 13. 3PO's 13.
13.
And then
this
Luke,
goes
X-Wing is 17.
17. So what happened to 14, 15, and 16? Well, they were con releases. The Shadow Trooper there is 14, and then you have Han and Luke in their Stormtroopers that are 15 and 16. Those are all con exclusives.
Kind of short for a Stormtrooper.
Very short. And these things they demand a premium. Next slide. I think I'll go over the cost of this one. And I think I asked the question, is this considered Series 1? Because it says Series 1 right there on the box. But it's 14, which comes after Series 2. How can that be Series 1? I don't know.
Well,
but it says it on the box. So
a little lazy on the edit checks there when they were proofing the box.
It says Series 1, so I guess it is Series 1. And it's an expensive addition to your Series 1. It's PPG at about just under $1,700. So I don't know. A lot of these, if you really want to put the run together, you spend the money on this. It really just depends on if that missing numbers bother you or not. Because 15 and 16, next slide, also con releases. Also,
they got this limited.
A lot of money. Now these I consider not a series because they don't say.
Yeah, they kind of stand alone.
Yeah, they don't say. Well, if you remember. 17, they got rid of the Series 2. So these just kind of start, like 17 and beyond. They don't say series on it. But these were con releases. PPG at just under $1,000 for each one. I tried looking up some sales on eBay. I found a couple, but it was best offer accepted, and they've removed the little trick. They've gotten rid of the trick where you can find out what it was. So I couldn't really find out what it was.
Oh, there's still a couple sites you might be able to use. I'll send them to you.
Okay. So, but anyway, yeah. So these are going to cost you money if you want them. Next slide.
Last slide. Let's see this.
Is
big
it the last
small
slide?
font.
Yeah, it is the last slide. So this is the slide where you can really see the difference in the font. The large font on the right versus the smaller font on the left. Large font usually indicates, from what I've been able to tell, early orders or early releases. The others you can look at as like second print, third prints if you want. Usually demand higher resale, but you can find so all the ones that earlier we looked at, like your Chewbacca's, your Boba Fett's, your Darth Maul's. There are large font releases of those, and even though the PPG didn't list it. If you go out and look on eBay and Mercari and some of these others, people know what they got. And when they list them for sale, they're asking for that premium. So a Boba Fett will probably run you over $100. Depending on box condition and all that, will probably run you over $100 in the large font. Whereas the smaller font, $20, $25.
I'm sure that's got to be tough for not only the Pops price guides, but even comic price guides to differentiate between like newsstand, not newsstand, because not everybody lists it when it's something different. And if they do, they might not list it properly. Be able to sort through all of that data, it's got to be a pain. Got to be tough.
Yeah. So I'm actually, I say this now, not, I'm actually trying to put this pop set together. But of course, because I am who I am, I want
big
the
font?
Large font, right?
I was going to say, do you want large font or are you going whatever font?
I have two. I got the, I don't know if you want to blow me up to the bigger screen. I have the Han, large.
There you go.
Large. And I have.
That was one of the pricier ones with the PPG too.
The Han was about $270. This one's about $290. The big Nobi. Again, box condition means a lot. I also have a couple of the not so big font, which I bought before I knew. So thank God Marco had me do the research, I guess. But the good thing is I only spent like $15 on it, so it's still, it's not a bad deal. And I have Chewbacca too because I collect Chewbacca. But these are my pickups, folks. And it's the small ones. So I think I picked.
Man, it's so hard to say no.
Yep.
I think
I have one of those
set together. Say again.
As a Wookiee, I'm really trying not to do the Funkos because I collect too much stuff, and man, that Chewie.
That's why I can't do it.
My inner
Dom,
Wookiee is
I brought it up last week. Dom Tober told me. I think we were chatting about something on IG. It might have been Whatnot or whatever. He's like, "Hey, be careful, man. You start going down that rabbit hole."
Turntables.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the turntables get you. You just can't help it.
You can't resist those things.
Well, forget the turntables. I'm telling you, these pops can get you really down a rabbit hole because you just Golden Girls. I like Golden Girls. All of a sudden, you got to buy all 4. You can't just have one Golden Girl. You got to have all the Golden Girls. Or you have to have all of the Seinfeld characters. And then you started collecting Seinfelds like, oh, wait a second. They've got this Kramer and this George. And now you're buying multiples of the same series.
Looney Tunes. I mean, everyone loves Looney Tunes, right?
Marvin, they have a Marvin and a K9. And I was this close because I collect Marvin stuff. And
Marvin the Martian is expensive.
Oh, yeah. And and I found a place where I could get one for dirt cheap. And then found out there's locked one. And it was like, nope. Just say no, because before you know it, you got 6 Marvins and 14 Chewbacca's, and it just don't.
I found myself
too many.
Like Dom Tober warned me, I kind of found myself kind of starting down that rabbit hole, and I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to stop. I do like Funkos. I'm one of those guys now that I can say I just like them. I think they're cool, but because I kind of like the older stuff anyway, I kind of gravitate, towards the older. Comics, the older action figures, and these blue box Star Wars are about it. As far as Funkos go, they're about as far back as you can go for Star Wars, I guess. I said, you know what? I'm going to concentrate on that. That way, I don't spend all my money on this other everything that pops up on Funko or on Whatnot or whatever, right? So
I don't have self control. That's why I just can't start.
Focus myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same here.
So I know myself. I can't control myself. Once I start, it's find me on a corner.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there's so much. Let's face it. In the Star Wars world, there's certain realms that there's so much stuff out there, and Star Wars is probably #1 in the entire realm of collecting anything because you've got books and novels and action figures and comic books and different sizes of action figures, and then you've got the Funkos, and I mean, heck, if you want, you can collect Star Wars cookie jars, you can collect Star Wars baking books, you can I mean I've got books on Star Wars origami.
Christmas ornaments.
Yeah, you can get into some of those Hallmark ornaments.
Hallmark.
So I'll just wrap it up by saying that, hey, I did all this research and put this stuff together in a couple of hours on a late Friday night. If for you guys out there that know Funkos, if I messed something up, I apologize. I did the best I could. And if you really want to get into Funkos, do research, because you can either go down a rabbit hole and end up spending money on stuff where maybe you had wished that you had been more focused, or I don't think it's any different than comics, really, or you might end up spending a lot of money on a counterfeit if you're really not careful, or if you're like anything, awesome. You're going to spend a lot of money on. Do your research.
I loved it. That was great, Jedi. That was a lot of info, man. That was really cool. Good job.
Yeah. Only difference, I think I can store 6 comics like this in a box, whereas 6 pops.
So you bring that up, and I want to say this. I think another good thing about Funkos when it comes to figures is they are so stackable. I kind of gravitate towards the 3.5-inch action figures. The new releases they do, because they take me back to my childhood, and that's how the ones were kind of packaged back in my childhood.
See, I did the different.
I don't know what to do with them, because you can't really display. You got to have stands, all this other stuff if you want to display them. Funkos, you just stack. I mean, look behind me; they're just stacked. The ones I have.
Well, they are stackable. And you went 3 3/4. I went with the 6-inch for everything. I'm like, you know what? I had the 3 3/4 when I was a kid. I'm going with the big guys now. Like these are the ones. They're more like statues. These are mine.
Yeah. You get into those giant ones like Dom.
Those giant ones.
This thing's like 18 inches, and he's got what, 3 of them? 4 of them? Yeah. I mean, you start getting into those big ones on top of the small regular size Funkos, and man,
well, I think Dom's doing it. I mean, Dom has a very good collection. I call him the Godfather, Grandmaster Funko. Just kind of kid him a little bit, but I think he's also pretty focused on Boba Fett, and I think he does others. Like I think he was showing off Darth Maul and stuff a little bit too. But I think, so you got to kind of have a focus, because or you can just go.
You've reached that echelon when you call it the room. Like, this is my comic room, or this is my pop room. when it has its own room, right that's when you've collected a lot.
When you change it from room to vault, like this is my vault, then there's an issue. That you're probably going to be single soon.
I don't know if Dom's watching right now. I don't know if Dom's watching right now, or if he watches this later. He's probably going to be, hey, you guys should have just invited me on if you guys are going to talk.